Good morning, everybody. Yesterday, I saw a new movie that was just put on my radar like this past Thursday by the John Campia show. It's called The Watcher. This movie was not on my radar at all. I had never seen a trailer for it. I never seen any discourse about it, anything. But I looked at its, when I first checked its credit score, it had an 83%. Now it has an 86%. Now, this movie is directed by Chloe Opinons. I don't know how to say her last name. It's Okuna. So this was her directorial debut. And I gotta say, I really like this movie. There was times like this movie wasn't like the most visually stunning thing you've ever seen, but it looked beautiful. There's some shots here that were like really good that I thought were really good. And this movie's supposed to be set in Romania. I've never been to Romania. I don't know what Romania looks like. At times it felt like it was in New York, but maybe it was Romania. I don't know. It did look kind of, I don't want to say it looked dirty, but it didn't look like high class. You know what I mean? So maybe it was Romania. But this movie's supposed to be set in Romania. From the very first scene, it's about this woman named Julia, who's a young actress, a former actress. She moves to Romania with her boyfriend, Francis. From this very first scene, it makes you realize she's a fish out of water. She's a fish out of water in new land that she does not understand. And from that, I think because the movie had no subtitles. But if you've passed middle school, you can use context clues to know what everyone's talking about when they're not speaking English. If you pass middle school English, you'll know what they're talking about. You can just use your context clues. If you use context clues, you'll know what they're talking about. It's not that big of a deal, but conveniently, every character except one speaks English whenever they talk to the main character. Every character except one. This old lady in the building. But every other character speaks English. That's very convenient for her. And it's about this woman who moves here and she thinks she's being watched. Well, she is being watched. There's no thing, she is. And she's being watched by this man across the street. And then she starts being followed. And there are times in the movie where I did not the guy was like, maybe I was being too much like a boy, but I was trying to ration out, and I jumped to the craziest conclusion. Like when she was being followed in when the main guy followed her into the grocery store, I was like, oh man, if he did this, yeah, he's following me, but he didn't do that. I was trying to rationalize this. I didn't want to jump to the crazy conclusion just like everyone else. But as the movie goes on, then she starts to follow the guy that thinks she's following her. And that's when I realized maybe she's the watcher. Maybe she's the one doing the watching. Because the movie that's supposed to say, there's a serial killer. And I was like, for most of the movie, I didn't think the serial killer was really going to connect with her. I thought that was something they wanted you to think was going to connect, but it wasn't really. Because the serial killer, the first killing that we see, from our character's point of view, our main character's point of view, happens blocks away from their main build, from where they live. That's why I thought it wasn't going to connect. It was something to throw you off, but it does end up connecting. And then the way it connects in a way is like they give you a detail that the killer, he puts a pillowcase over your head, a pillowcase. I'm like, and the guy that ends up being a killer, he carries a plastic Chinese bag with him, like Chinese food bag with him. And I realized that detail every time I see this guy get a Chinese bag. I realized that detail the same time Julia realized it. I realized it at the same time. And by then, I think I realized it at the same time, but she was already in the safe. But then when she gets back to her apartment, she goes into her friend's apartment, Irina. Blah, blah, blah. I don't want to spoil the whole movie for you, but overall, the movie was really good. I did spoil a lot of it. I'm sorry, but the whole movie, if I had to give it a rating, 7, 8 out of 10. The only time I felt bored was like the work get together. Was at like this fancy museum. You don't know what I'm talking about. The fancy dress with the champagne, and that's when like Julia snaps. After Julia snaps in that scene, I think that's when the movie gets like really, really good. Like that's towards the end of the movie, though. That's when the movie is like perfect, in my opinion. But yeah, I think this is a really good watch, to be honest. I was indifferent during it, but like thinking of going back on it now, I think it's a really good watch. It's about a 7, 8 out of 10. I'm just gonna give it 7 out of 10. Really good watch. I really recommend it. And yeah, Hope you enjoyed the movie and go see this movie. Peace.